Here, Mim crouched and touched the forest floor. It looks like horned rabbits mixed with normal rabbits. I guess we'll be having horned rabbit stew with roasted rabbits? James smiled, happy that they had finally sighted tracks. They had been moving slower than typical, but were fighting against time. Due to events earlier with Celine, they needed to find food and rush back to the camp. Security would be necessary at night compared to any previous night in the forest. Traveling while something could be out in the dark hunting them so early in their request meant that it was dangerous to just have the two of them. Not only did the camp need them to help bolster the defenses, but also for their own safety. "How old are the tracks?" James asked. "Not that old." Mim looked back to James with a smile. His tail moved in excitement at finding their prey. Mim got back up, and the two of them quickened their pace. "Though, there's the danger of whatever Celine saw. We don't have much time left," Mim said. "I'll use my crossbows to attack the horned rabbit first, while you try to get as many rabbits as possible." "You can count on me. Just with rabbits, it's going to be a long night with so little food." James knew that their situation depended on him moving quickly. He gritted his teeth, not letting the pressure get to him. They navigated between the giant trees, Mim following the prints with James close behind him. "It's going to happen fast," James thought to himself, getting himself mentally prepared. James made sure to watch ahead for any signs of the long-eared creatures. His daggers were already in his hands. The moment he spotted the small animals, he'd pounce. In the middle of his thoughts, James spotted Mim raising a crossbow. "Where?" James kept the panic contained as his eyes darted and checked every part of the forest floor. "There." His eyes spied the long ears aimed in their direction. "They spotted us," he snarled and darted towards them. In mere seconds, a group of rabbits was in front of him. Though the animals were fast, they weren't faster than James. Since they weren't monsters and just ordinary animals, the rabbits didn't have a chance. Slashing the necks of the small creatures, James moved as though he were harvesting crops. His attacks were precise to not waste any time. Before he completed an attack, his eyes were already searching for another rabbit. Movement out of the corner of his eyes made him dodge, falling to the ground. He slid a few feet due to how quickly he had been moving. What was... James couldn't finish thought before he spotted the forest cat that had launched itself at him. His head jerked to one side as one of the claws grazed his helmet. "You okay?" Mim yelled before snarling at the cat. A horned rabbit with several bolts pierced into its body at his feet. Forgetting about the rabbits, James directed his focus on the forest cat while also keeping his senses open on another sneak attack. There was no telling whether the forest cat had been hunting alone or with others. Sneaky little thing, James took a deep breath. He was having difficulty controlling his emotions with all the adrenaline pumping throughout his body. If it weren't for his new helmet, James was sure that the forest cat would have left a deep wound across his cheek.